So today is April 29, 2015, and here's a little Torreya here with the property of Russ Regnery. But first, let's take a look at what the surrounds are here. We got a dogwood in bloom. We're about 3,800 feet. And is this a Carolina or a hemlock?
Carolina hemlock.
A Carolina hemlock, okay. And hogback mountain or little hogback, and you can hear there's a creek right down there. And this is all his property here. And what's the name of the mountain up there?
Black Rock Mountain.
Okay, so 3,800 feet.
Black Rock is almost 5,000.
5,000.
4,900 something.
Okay, and is it pure forest from you on up, or is there some private land in between?
It's pure forest, and it goes into Forest Service right beyond our property, so it's all the way up to the peak of Black Rock.
Really? Is that Nantahala?
Yeah.
So Nantahala Forest. See, this is interesting. Well, how would you say, between Franklin and Cashiers?
And Highlands, yeah.
And Highlands, just...
sort of in the Bermuda Triangle.
Right. And what's the name of your creek, and give me the whole watershed of where it goes into.
Okay. This is the start of Little Buck Creek down here. It has a couple of forks to it, and it joins into larger Buck Creek, which then descends down into the Kalishaja River, which then will meets with the Little Tennessee in Franklin, and becomes the Little Tennessee and heads on west from there.
Russ, when you got involved in the 2008 here, you specifically wanted the sun, and talk about why that was.
Well, we weren't real sure if we wanted sun or not, but since a lot of the trees were being planted in shade or an understory, we thought we would sort of do a little bit of a gradient of trees that are in almost, well, it's not full sun because it gets shade from these tall trees, but there will be direct sun during a lot of the day on many of these trees. But then as you get back up into the edges, you get less and less sun. So we sort of have a gradient of sunshine, and in part it was just to see how they would respond to the opportunity to grow in more direct sunshine. And the hope was that perhaps they would mature faster, or if not in size, at least in fruit production and nut production, that maybe these guys here that are more open would begin to reproduce sexually quicker than things which are back in the shade, which sometimes I have the feeling the ones in the shade are waiting for the next tree to fall over and then they fruit, so we're giving these guys a little bit of a head start out here. We, as you can see, I don't know whether this was really necessary or not, but when they were young, we put up some shade around them just to shelter them a little bit from the wind and especially in the wintertime, I think, and in the summer too, the direct sun. But as you can see, this one here in the fairly close to us here, that one has now been without its shade for a couple of years and doing fine. So I need to take the shade off, I think, of the remaining ones, and I think they can handle the sunshine now.
Jack at the Little Tennessee is also experimenting what I call an orchard arrangement, and that's where you are going for a lot of sun. You're trying to protect them when they're most vulnerable if they need it, with the ultimate goal of giving them the most growth potential to be able to seed as quickly as possible so that we can get a lot of seeds and therefore be able to spread them around more and do some free planting. Well, let's take a look at this one right here. This looks terrific, just in terms of what you see. The light color there is actually a good thing. Those are the buds, the vegetative buds in here. Now I'm doing a top down here, and I do see there's a little green terminal bud coming up. So in addition to the laterals, it looks like we've got triplets. Yep, triplet buds on each of the 4 branches, plus a little green terminal that will be coming up. It's getting a lot of sun, and so putting in a lot of growth here. Anything else? Oh, on this tree, how many stems do we have that are actually
3, I think.
Okay, 3.
And those
Yeah.
were there when it was originally planted too.
Right.
We never cut those back or anything.
Right, right. So of all the originals here, how would you rate this one in terms of its health?
Oh, gosh. Well, they're all a little bit different, Connie.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to do.
It's hard to really rate them, I guess. It's one of the more vigorous ones, let's put it that way.
Right.
But then again, we've got 4 or 5 vigorous ones.
Yep. So we can see 1, first whorl, second whorl, third whorl, fourth whorl. That fourth whorl would have been around with the original.
This one is one of the 2 that's closest to the Carolina hemlock too, which does provide a little bit of shade in the afternoon sun. So this one doesn't get full sun in the afternoons.
Right, right. So having a lot of sun, but having some protection in the afternoon seems to be the experience here, because part of all this is we're trying to learn. You know, you give them a healthy environment, and what are their preferences. So talk to me about this one. I'll do a top down on it too. I always like taking a look here.
Doesn't have a shade around it. I need to put a post to keep the deer from it. It's got a single lead, and it's doing really well. It's probably one of the most vigorous ones, and that's probably why I took the shade off of it first. The black bucket around the bottom, many of these, was something I used the first year when I became really concerned the first winter that they were going to brown off, the freeze. We had a really cold winter, and I just needed to put something around them, I felt, to protect what little growth they had from totally desiccating and freezing off.
Right, right. Now what's interesting about this one is leading up to the terminal there, looks like last year, because it's still green, you had quite a bit of growth, looks like 3 inches or so, maybe 3.5, down to that first whorl. And
we've got a quad up here, plus the center.
Yes, yeah, but tons and tons of buds. What I've been doing with Junaluska and Waynesville, because I've been monitoring those each year, I count buds. And that's a really good way to be objective about it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to rain a little. Let's just kind of walk around here and talk to me about. This is another one of the 2008 planting.
Yep. This is as full of sun as we got.
Now, what's interesting here is that other one is full sun, but this one looks a little scalded.
But on the other hand, the interval between the whorls is if anything greater. You know, it's really stretching out.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I mean,
look at that. Give me an estimate on the inches on that.
I'm going to say 8 inches at least.
Okay.
Maybe more.
Now it's brown, so that would not have been last year. That would have been, so it went gangbusters one year, and then last year it basically...
Yeah.
It did the laterals last year.
I think this growth here probably was spring last year, and this is probably the second burst of growth up here.
Okay.
I'm guessing on that.
Yeah, see, I'm pretty careful. I'm trying to say growing season because I have no idea in terms of years. You know, you'd have to photograph them every season and get the distinctions. Let's take a look down there. Is that a single stem?
It is. And it's interesting too because the other whorl is also quite long on it too. The one below, the one we were just looking at, is at least.
And that's new since it was planted in 2008.
Yeah.
So this one.
These guys are double or triple their original sizes. Yeah.
So even though it's got some scalding up there on top, there's a lot of green where it gets a little more shade, and overall this looks very successful.
And I think as the new growth comes out, you know, the scalding will not be as critical or something.
Right, yeah. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay. Oh, now this is really exciting. You got here a nurse tree. What kind of a tree? Locust tree. Okay, I'll have to look and see if that's got the same fungi.
It'd be interesting if it doesn't, because it's not as, this one is not as tall nor as vigorous as
the next one.
As the next one, right.
Right. So there's a top-down view. A lot of very healthy looking leaves. The terminal looks like it's had some trouble, and we can't tell whether...
Trauma.
Yeah, whether somebody's put their antler against it or eaten it.
Whether it got frozen
Or
badly
frozen,
in a
yeah.
big snowball this winter.
Yeah, what was, did you record a low temp up here? Well,
It was at least -4, something like that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Not as cold as some
Right.
places up here, but
Now this one's really exciting because inadvertently, without having an idea, talk about what you call here as the nurse tree. It's just starting to get some leaves on it.
well, we have a small tulip poplar, yellow poplar, liriodendron, whatever you want to call it, and these tulip poplars grow up really quickly around here. But I let it grow up just because it provides a little bit of natural shade, and we were just discussing the potential that it might actually be a source of some of the root symbiotes that perhaps the Torreya can tap into too in terms of nutrients.
Yeah, and so let's take a look at the health on this thing.
Yeah.
Now, one example is certainly no confirmation to that, but wow.
Yeah, again,
This
we've
is,
got a really nice growth spurt here last year. Probably the first, it's not as tall as that last one, but it's at least 6 inches.
yeah, but the terminal up there is very, very healthy.
Oh yeah.
Unlike the other one didn't have it quite as healthy as that. And then when you look out,
we've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 branch buds coming out right around the terminal.
Yeah.
Plus a beautiful green
Yeah.
terminal coming straight up out of there.
Yeah.
It'll be coming up. And then along the edge of the branchlets, we've got what, triplets?
Oh, at least triplets, yeah. Triplets on most of them. This one's got, I think that's quads here.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many inches would you guess?
On this one,
That longest one?
at least 6.
Wow, 6 inches the year before, and then
Probably
another 4.
4 inches before that, and then about
Yeah.
3 inches before that. So it's getting better.
Right.
It's putting on more and more growth.
Right.
Which that's good to know. I haven't really looked at it that
That's
way.
fabulous. But so here we just lucked out that the liriodendron and the maples of any species bear the same mycorrhizal symbiotic fungi, which really, I mean, trees can survive if they have really good habitat without their mycorrhizal usual symbionts, but they do a lot better with it. And this tree is certainly thriving. So it's starting to rain. Let's talk to me about, yeah.
Let's go down and look at that little guy underneath there.
Okay.
He's our best example of a
Yes.
shade-grown tree. Or we could take a quick peek at one of the babies here too.
Well, let's take a look at newer. These are 3 years ago you put these in, so that would have been about 2012.
Yeah, very slow. Maybe they need some symbiotes.
Yeah.
Really could.
I wonder if you could just grab some soil from a mature,
Yeah,
maple or liriodendron and throw it in there.
good idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, let me get the context here. I remember I was up here and I saw this not long after the planting. Very excited about this because here you can see the edge of the field. There's where the others are. And this is one of 2 that gets a bit of shade because we've got a hemlock here. Now this hemlock is going to die at some point. But right now, ever since it was planted in 2008, it's had shade, and look at that.
Yeah.
What a glorious, glorious specimen.
Very straight.
Yeah, no sun scalding at all.
Got a nice quad on the top there.
Yes. Beautiful.
Perhaps not the density of foliage that the sunshine ones have, but
Right.
still very elegant little tree.
Yes, elegant, and definitely feels like it wants to reach vertical. Because
Yeah.
we get quite a few that they basically say, I'm not going to get up into the canopy. I'm just going to spread out.
Yeah.
And this one says, I got a shot at the canopy.
Yeah.
I think I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll show the other one. You got another one a little farther back, right?
Yeah, it's just up the trail here.
Okay, let's go take a look. It's unusual. This is a little Virginia red cedar, juniperus, Virginiana kind of juniper. All right, now what's interesting here, when you planted this here, this little hemlock was still alive but dying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here you planted, and this is one of the ones from Jack you got as a little tiny seedling 3 years ago.
So it's actually doing better than the ones that are in the cans out there.
Yes, yeah. So again, very common for Torreya is that they're pretty slow out of the chute here. You know, we surmise they're really putting down a good root structure so that they're never having to worry about desiccation.
Not much in the way of new buds on this guy.
No, it's not. It seems very happy with its leaf structure, but you've got pretty much little singlets out on the end. Now, of course, it wouldn't have experienced as much spring yet as the other ones would have too.
Yeah.
But what about a terminal? Do we have a terminal? Yes, we do. Is that a... Okay, good. So it's going to go vertical this year, right in the center there.
Yep, sure is. That's the only way to go.
Right. Okay, now it's raining a little here now, but I have a pocket full of 50 seeds from the 2014 harvest. And this ravine here, what was the name of the creek?
Little Buck Creek.
Little Buck Creek goes into Buck Creek. And we're going to, and then you can see a little access trail up along here, but he owns both sides of this creek. And we're just going to do some free planting. I got 50 seeds. We had a good harvest this year. We can afford to lose some. And we're just going to plant them in the forest. So let's get going. Okay, here we are between where the creek splits into two. We're on an island that's just full of rhododendron. And, you know, this is experimenting with free planting. What we know here, very unlikely that we'll have a vole problem. It's just too moist in here.
I don't know, there's already a hole here.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, it's an old log.
Oh.
But something's
Okay, well, yeah, don't put it if...
something's traveled through there.
Yeah, find a place where they may not be.
This, like you say, this feels pretty good over here.
Okay, put it there. That's great. And then it looks like we can get a little sun out on farther down slope here too, and get a couple in over there. Great.
Okay, guys, take off.
Yeah. Okay, that's one out of 50. We'll only do a few here, and then Russ will come back out at another time where he can flag them and remember where he can go to look for them. So here we're gonna, yeah, let's get a couple in out there. I just like the rock here because it means the creek is not going to shift into this area. This is pretty stable. Okay, looks good to me.
We got Sunflower and Jack in the Pulpit.
Oh, good, yeah. Jack in the Pulpit is a good sign. At the Evans property on Eagle Nest Mountain in Waynesville, Jack in the Pulpit is a good sign. All right.
Wonderful leaf litter here.
Good. Wonderful leaf litter.
Probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches deep.
Good. Good, good. And even though it's a little bit before leaf out this spring, can you tell what these larger trunks of trees are around you here?
Yeah. We've got a couple of locusts.
Okay. Robinia, black locust. Is that a red maple there that right by you?
No, it's a buckeye.
A buckeye, okay.
And I think this is too, yeah. Buckeyes come from the same rootstock, that looks nice.
Okay.
And there's a little maple here.
Oh good, a maple, because that's got the same mycorrhizal fungi. And what's that big trunk to your left?
This guy, just tulip
Oh, good, liriodendron. Good, a maple liriodendron. We've got good mycorrhizal symbionts here. So here's where part of the creek splits here. Ooh, nice maple there. Russ is coming out. We just planted 3 seeds down there. Creek's on the other side too. And so we took advantage of this little island in here. And so now, ooh, we got a couple nice black cherries there. We're gonna, here's a buckeye right in front of me here. We're gonna go up into the regular forest. That looks like a robinia there. I'm gonna go up into the regular forest and find a few places, get them on camera, and then at his leisure, Russ will plant some more. All right, so let's head on up. So we chose this spot here. Actually, we got big liriodendrons on the right, and here we have mountain maple. Both of them have the right root fungus. So Russ is putting in a seed in that area.
I like these maples.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, so we'll continue on. This is an old kind of a roadbed that we've been walking on, going up in elevation. And here you can see this faces pretty much west. There's the mountains up there and the field where the Torreyas are down there. But we're moving them up. Oh, what's that? That's a kind of lily, huh? What is it?
Clinton's lily.
Clinton?
False hellebore.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Not the big one. There's 2 false hellebores. This is the little woodland one.
Okay. Very nice. And we have several. Here's a dead hemlock here. We saw the small ones seem to be still alive, but anything that's over a certain height seems to go. And up at this height, 3,800 feet or so, we will have quite a canopy, deciduous canopy in the summer, but other than the tulip tree, it's really hasn't leafed out yet. And then some of the understory here has. Buckeye seems to leaf out a little early. Okay, let's find another couple spots and then call it a day. And Russ is putting some in here. It's a whole group of
Painted trillium.
Painted trillium. Let's see if I can get it, zoom in on some of the flowering there. Okay, so you got that one in. You didn't feel a vole hole right in the hole.
Oh no.
Okay, and look what we've got around here. That's definitely a liriodendron.
Mm-hmm.
Tall, tall, tall. Boom! Up there. And so midsummer, there will be a lot of protection here from too much sun. This is a beautiful, beautiful place. So this is right by the bench. And this is looking back down along the old path road down to the ravine. So right from the bench, we turned off, and Russ is walking down slope here, down this swale. That's going to take us back to the field where the other Torreys are. Oh, nice. We've got is that a maple?
A little maple here.
Yeah.
Clinton's lilies right here too.
Clinton's lilies here. A maple. Oh, and a couple trilliums here too.
Good dirt.
Good dirt, all right. And look at these gorgeous trilliums growing right here. In my view, anywhere that's got trillium is definitely moist enough. I'm going to keep heading down this swale. Try not to step on the beautiful trilliums and Clinton's lilies. You can see them right here. Quite beautiful. All right. Russ has found another spot right by a liriodendron to his right. I think this is, yeah, this is definitely a birch. Yeah, maple, little maple right there. This
plantain orchid here.
Plantain orchid, excellent. Plenty wet. And look at this. This looks like a birch to me. It's got to be a gray birch. I'm trying to learn that species. Okay, let's continue. It's a good rock to be able to see.
One by the rock.
Yeah, you'll easily be able to find it again once I get this video up on YouTube. That'll be easy to check on. Oh, and Russ, you asked how long it takes. In general, we've been finding 18 months is when the first sign of germination happens, but where it's just the root going down. And so it's usually to the second fall. So these were the harvests of 2014. So probably not till fall 2016 will you see anything coming above the surface of the soil. They've got a big seed, so they got a lot of energy to be able to get that root down and make sure they've got good water before they bother to put anything up to the surface. Very good strategy. No feeling of voles down there?
Well, there's a hole here of some sort, but it's hard to tell, you know, with this leaf litter as soft as it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got plenty of seeds. So if you've got 50 that you're free planting, I would imagine no fewer than 5 or 6 should be able to escape predation and become visible above soil. And then the experience we've had in the forests is that once they're visible above ground, there isn't anything that's really going to take it.
Good.
Yeah.
Here's a little maple buddy for it. Right?
Oh, nice. A little maple buddy. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, this is a fabulous forest for free planting. We've got both the orchard style, started in 2008 and supplemented in 2012 with some younger ones. And now we're doing the free planting. Here's a trillium right down there. Oh, liriodendron here. You can tell just how straight.
It'd be fun too, Connie, because we can just follow this little swale down again in the future. You know?
Yes, right from the bench.
Years from here.
Right, we'll be able to follow the swale down. Exactly. So you won't even really need much in terms of flagging, but certainly within 5 years it'll be visible. And this time of year is great, or late fall.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't have too much greenery out, you just look for anything green and see what it is.
Another guy, there's a big, good-sized flat rock here. We're just
Oh, good. Okay, that's a good way to tell what it is. Here's a little dead hemlock to the left there, and liriodendron, and oh, 2 big dead hemlocks back there, and then a third one over there. Nice little white pine right in front of you there. We found at Junaluska that the white pine's needles are so open that the Torrey growing next to them, which is now about 5-6 feet tall, can actually get sunlight through the branches of the white pine. Okay, so what's the distinguishing feature? You just planted one there. Who's around it?
Oh my goodness, we're just below this little white pine by about 10 feet.
Uh-huh.
We've got another striped maple or yellow maple here.
Okay.
Far away. We got big liriodendron off to my left.
Yep.
And I think this is a prunus, one of the cherries here.
Okay, and we're just, I've gotten the picture. What's that green box?
That's an electrical box.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just up from the electrical box and the fence. So this is about it for our swale planting today.
Well, we can just wander right down here past this way and maybe put one more in and
Okay.
we'll be good.
Okay, let's do that. Well, here we have some kind of a white oak, little one. Got lots of little ferns in here. Another trillium. Walking down this swale. Here's that little white pine. Golly, that looks like some kind of a lousewort in there right next to that trillium. Very nice. Oh, quite a few. I hear a pileated woodpecker. Am I hearing correct? Okay. Oh, here's another nice clump. And again, this looks like what I would call a birch. I wonder if it's a gray birch. There's a lot of things that are fairly, it's definitely not a beech, and it's not a buckeye. So I'm going to... Oh yeah, I can tell that one's easy. And this is obviously a robinia right there, right next to a liriodendron. And what would this vine be?
Grape.
Oh, grapevine, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so where are you going to put in another one here?
Maybe one more here, to level up.
Okay. Oh, this will be easy to see because it's got that weird looking stump.
Yep, and we're right here on an old fence line, so you have to be careful about the barbed wire. But
Okay.
see, right in the line of the fence line.
Right on the line of the fence line, okay. Oh, and we have got...
Sticking my finger down here, hope I don't get bit.
Yes, I know. I was thinking about that a lot when I've done a lot of free planting this time in western North Carolina. But there's some lovely little maples right here and right on the other side. And golly, this is what I'm holding on to right now too. This is maple, so we've definitely got the right fungus in here to form the symbiotic association and help our little Torreya get what it needs. All right, so this is it for a wonderful April 29th Torreya planting, and I think we must have put in about 10 or 12 seeds, and you'll put in the rest.
Yep.
Yeah, nice, perfectly rainy day for this.
Yep.
So Russ Regnery, thank you so much for helping to assist the migration of this ancient genus back up to the southern Appalachians from its Florida peak glacial refuge.